They're great dogs. All right, that's our time for now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here again tomorrow. News 3 at 5 starts right now.
And right now at 5, a man has been arrested in connection to the missing Tennessee teenager who was found in Madison. We'll have the latest from federal court.
A Lyft driver is arrested after being accused of sexually assaulting a passenger. What ride-sharing service passengers are saying.
Find your way through it.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 5.
Thanks for staying with us, everyone. Madison police are investigating after a Lyft driver allegedly sexually assaulted one of his riders.
28-year-old Hassan Ahmed was arrested and faces 2 second-degree sexual assault charges. Rose Schmidt, Langdon Street, to explain what officers say led to this incident. Rose?
Yes, well, a 25-year-old woman told police that she was sexually assaulted inside her apartment here on Langdon Street. Officers say she used a Lyft app on her phone to call for a safe ride home just before 2 a.m. Sunday. And the driver got out of his car and asked her if he could use her bathroom. Officers say he was pushy, but she reluctantly agreed to let him inside, and that's when that sexual assault happened. Students who live near Langdon Street say they are now on high alert and trying to stay vigilant.
My mom had me download one of those safety apps where you hold the button and then if you release it, it calls the cops and it brings them right to your location, which is nice. So I have that. I told my friends to do that, but besides that, just staying in groups and stuff.
Officials with Lyft say they deactivated the driver after hearing about the incident and reached out to the woman to offer support to her. They called the allegations deeply disturbing and say they have no tolerance for this behavior. And Alder Zellers tells me that the general downtown area presents concerns, but she says in this case specifically, the victim should never be blamed, and she says she wants people to use caution moving forward.
All right, Rose Schmidt live on Langdon. Rose, thank you. A Madison man facing a federal charge of creating child pornography, and more charges may be coming.
Our Amy Reed joins us now from the federal courthouse in downtown Madison with the latest. Amy?
The reason this was in federal court is because it ties back to that missing 14-year-old girl from Tennessee that was found in Wisconsin last week, if you'll remember when we told you that on Thursday. This is what he looks like. Brian David Rogers. He's 31, from Madison. His family was watching here in court today. What the U.S. court is saying is Rogers made contact with that 14-year-old girl through an online game, Roblox. They go on to say that when she told him she was being sexually assaulted back in Tennessee, he asked her to send video of it. The prosecution told me that's the same video they found on her phone that led to charges for her attacker last week. The prosecution said that they are also considering adding a charge of transporting a person across state lines for sexual activity, since the complaint alleges that Rogers went down to Tennessee and brought her back to Wisconsin, but the prosecution is not sure right now for sure that they will add that. Now, this is just the very beginning of the court proceedings, but if Rogers is convicted, he's looking at a minimum of 15 years behind bars.
Amy Reed, live downtown. Amy, thanks.
Madison police are stepping up patrols in the area of Langdon Street after an assault early yesterday morning. Madison police say a woman was attacked near Langdon and Carroll Streets around 3:22 Sunday morning. They said the attack seems to have been committed by a stranger. The victim was brought to the hospital for treatment. Anyone with information about this incident is asked to call Madison Area Crime Stoppers 608-266-6014.
Let's get a first check on the weather now. Gary Canalti is in the Weather Center. Gary?
Susan, we had fog last night. It was a very mild night, but now a cold front has come through. It's got rid of the fog, but it's also going to lead to colder temperatures and eventually some mixed precipitation. On Doppler track, the rain showers from early this morning have shifted off to the east. Right now, things are pretty quiet across southern Wisconsin, but temperatures are falling. Notice Milwaukee's at 41. Here in Madison, we're just above freezing, and temperatures are already in the teens out toward La Crosse. And there are winter weather advisories from 6 p.m. tomorrow evening through 6 a.m. Wednesday morning for much of southern and south central and southeastern Wisconsin, for the possibility for some light freezing rain as well as some snow. Snowfall amounts probably a couple of inches from the northern parts of our viewing area, but everybody should see at least some freezing rain in a couple of bouts tomorrow night and then again on Wednesday night into early Thursday morning. Otherwise, skies will actually clear out overnight. By morning, we'll be down into the teens. High temperatures tomorrow should be in the upper 20s, but we could see some light snow or freezing rain late in the day. That's your News 3 Now. First Alert Forecast.
All right, Gary, thank you. And from snow to rain to fog, we've pretty much seen it all this winter.
The fog that we've been dealing with lately has its own unique impact on driving conditions. Our Madeline O'Neill has more from the one driver in Madison who likely sees the most crashes in the city and what he recommends. Maddie?
Well, Eric and Susan, not driving too quickly or too close to cars ahead of you is always solid advice. It's even more pressing when visibility is low. I rode along with a driver you've likely spotted on the Beltline. He has a few more tips as you navigate the fog that seem to have taken over lately. Some might call him a hero.
Well, not the hero, just a very busy, shareholder of the Beltline.
From the big things.
And here's our first crash.
To the small.
So there's a snow shovel back there that I'm going to go remove.
Deputy Eric Novotny does it all.
I can give gas. I can give people jump starts.
Almost.
I'm not going to change their oil.
5 days a week for nearly 20 years, he's driven this Dane County service truck known affectionately as Beltline Bob.
Beltline Eric just doesn't have the same ring to it.
After responding to about 98,000 calls,
Deputy Novotny speaking.
He's learned a thing or two.
Yo, anything that you think could happen on this roadway has happened on this roadway. You will notice that people are riding people's bumper, and that's how incidents happen, and especially in a fog where I can't see. When we crest this hill, we will not be able to see Highway 51.
Beyond keeping your distance.
Probably the biggest thing in situations like this, motorists should automatically turn on their lights.
When it's foggy, Novotny says even if you have automatic lights, you may need to turn them on yourself to make sure your rear lights are on too.
I can see a quarter of a mile away.
Even though fog can come and go.
All of a sudden, poof, it's down to 20 feet.
These standbys will always help.
And paying attention to your surroundings, and you'll get through this.
And if you don't, Beltline Bob and this busy Beltline shareholder are never far away.
And we can get there.
As Deputy Novotny will tell you, things do happen on the road, especially with weather that's foggy like this. So if you do get in a crash, make sure to get out of the lanes if possible and call emergency services right away.
It's very good advice with the weather always changing. And Deputy Novotny is doing a great job.
Yep.
Thank you very much,
You're
Maddie.
welcome.
Thanks, Maddie. The cold is expected to come back later this week. And if you're still concerned about keeping the family warm this winter, Wisconsin has many energy assistance programs available. Whether you're through MG&E, Alliant, or another company, you do have options depending on your income. The Wisconsin Home Energy Assistance Program is just one of those options. WEEP provides assistance for heating costs, electric costs, and energy crisis situations. We've provided links on how to calculate whether or not you qualify, along with all the other information you need. Just go to the all-new channel3000.com.
The UW campus is cleaning up today after 28 buildings suffered burst pipes. The worst of it happened at Vilas Hall overnight Sunday and in the chemistry building on Friday. Faculty and staff were allowed to enter Vilas Hall this morning to retrieve their belongings and clean out their offices as crews worked to clean up the mess. The chemistry building is currently undergoing renovations.
We're all a little bit stunned by it all right now, and just trying to figure out how this is going to play out the next few days.
Both buildings are scheduled to be closed through tomorrow, but UW officials are anticipating that Vilas Hall could be closed longer. Affected students, faculty, and staff will be notified directly via email with any changes.
2 people have been arrested in connection with a shooting at a near West Side apartment building in Madison that injured a man yesterday. 37-year-old Richard Adams and 35-year-old Nicole Nelson, both of Madison, are facing charges, including facing tentative charges of first-degree reckless injury causing great bodily harm. A 56-year-old man was shot last night. His injury is said to be non-life-threatening. Police say Adams and Nelson know the victim, and the shooting came after an argument outside the Seago Terrace apartment complex. That's in the 600 block of Sawyer Terrace. The victim was visiting someone at Seago Terrace and had just left the building when Adams and Nelson arrived to confront him. Witnesses provided police with information about those suspects. Adams, Nelson, and the victim live in the area where the shooting took place.
3 Oregon schools were briefly placed on soft lockdown this morning while police investigated some comments that were made on a bus. Oregon police requested the high school, the middle school, and Rome Corners Intermediate School be placed on soft lockdown during the investigation. The superintendent said a soft lockdown is a police term and that the district calls it a hold, which is where classes continue, but no one is allowed in or out of the building. Police say they're currently meeting with a couple of students, but they have told district officials there is no immediate threat to any schools. The lockdown was lifted at about 10 a.m. and schools were back to their normal schedules.
A driver who hit the extended stop arm on a Beloit Turner school bus last week was tracked down thanks to surveillance video from area businesses. Town of Beloit police responded Friday morning to a hit-and-run crash in the area of River and Azalea Drives, where a newer gray GMC pickup truck with a topper hit the school bus while children were getting off. Area businesses provided the surveillance video of the suspect vehicle on Saturday. Officers found it. On Sunday, the driver, 52-year-old Stephen J. Steinert of the town of Beloit, was issued several citations. He faces tentative citations of improper passing of a stopped school bus. That's a $326 fine, and hit-and-run property damage for $350.
5 unions and a Democratic lawmaker have filed another lawsuit challenging measures Wisconsin Republicans approved in lame duck session. The laws were passed toward the end of last year and stripped away some of the powers of Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers and Attorney General Josh Kaul. The unions and Senator Janet Bewley filed the lawsuit today in Madison. They argue the laws violate the separation of powers doctrine in the state constitution and will cost taxpayers and as lawmakers hire private attorneys to fight the lawsuits. Hospitals and emergency responders in Dane County are hoping to expand the use of a mobile app that's aimed at increasing bystander CPR. Unity Point Health Meritor, UW Health, SSM Health, Dane County EMS, and the City of Madison Fire Department announced they are jointly supporting Pulse Point, which alerts CPR-trained bystanders when a sudden cardiac arrest occurs in a safe public place nearby. The app is connected with the Dane County Public Safety 911 communications and alerts users to events when hands-only compressions are needed before EMS arrives. The app has 30,000 downloads in Dane County, and officials hope to add 10,000 more this year. Pulse Point is available for free for both Apple and Android devices.
Lake Mills police will be starting a canine program and naming their first dog after Lake Mills Fire Captain Chris Truman, who was killed in a crash on New Year's Eve. Lake Mills police officials say they're in the early stages of fundraising to bring a drug and search dog to the community. Anyone who wants to donate to the canine program can contact them at 920-648-2354, and money is also being raised at the Lake Mills Market.
The Henry Vilas Zoo in Madison is celebrating 2 birthdays. 2 of the 3 Bornean orangutans are celebrating getting a year older. Datu just turned 15 last week, and Kawan will turn 18 on Thursday. Today, the staff at the zoo threw a birthday party for the 2. The theme was Under the Sea. Parents say their children enjoy watching and learning about the orangutans.
You can read them a book and they can see things on TV and there's different things and they see them and oh, okay. But then when you actually bring them here and they're seeing them in person and they can see how they interact and potentially even interact with the kids, that just makes it so much more real.
Bornean orangutans have a lifespan of 35 to 45 years old, but when they're in captivity, they can live to be nearly 60.
They are fun to watch. More to come on News 3 now at 5. Up next, things are changing around our studio. We'll show you what we've been working on and more about our new set.
The president sends more troops to the border. We'll tell you how many are going, plus his message to lawmakers ahead of tomorrow night's State of the Union address.
Strong start to the week for the markets as the Dow climbs more than 175 points. The NASDAQ added 84. The S&P 500 gained 18. We'll be right back. Well, you probably noticed by now that we have a new space, and we are really excited to show it off.
It's been a very busy couple of months for everyone here. A lot of people have done a lot of hard work. We've been planning for the changes for the past year, and you may recall we left our old set back in early December. Since then, we've been working on this new set. You can see the 2 new video displays, a new weather center, and a series of other tools that will help us bring you the latest breaking news, weather, and stories that are important to southern Wisconsin. WISC-TV has been on the air since 1956, and this is our biggest studio renovation to date.
As you can see, we have 2 massive monitors around us, and those will give us more opportunities to tell your stories and give you up-to-the-minute information in new ways. We also wanted our name to reflect what we strive to do every day, tell you what's happening right now, and bring you those important stories as soon as they happen.
You rely on our website, Channel 3000, to stay connected 24/7, so now our Alert Center is going to feed updates right to our broadcast show in real time.
And that's also going to help us with our ultimate goal, which is to bring you the most local news in our area, and we are investing more of our time and resources in what's happening in your backyard with the most reporters and photographers on the street every day. This is the new News 3 Now, and we're glad to have you tune in.
Next on News 3 Now at 5, the Pentagon is sending more than 3,000 active duty U.S. soldiers to the southern border as the president continues to threaten a national emergency to get his border wall. The troops will be installing wire barriers between ports of entry and providing support to Customs and Border Protection. This comes as President Trump continues to make his case for stronger border security. The president has not ruled out another government shutdown or a national emergency declaration to get funding for the wall.
Would you shut down the government again?
Well, we're going to have to see what happens on February 15th. And
you're not taking it off the table?
Well, I don't take anything off the table. I don't like to take things off the table. It's that alternative. It's national emergency.
A new CBS News YouGov poll shows that 66% of Americans do not want the president to declare a national emergency to build the wall. And a quick programming note, President Trump will deliver the State of the Union address to the nation tomorrow night. It will air right here on News 3 Now at 8 o'clock.
The fog is gone, but the cold is heading back our way. Your First Alert Weather Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti. Gary?
Eric, and not only with the cold, we have the possibility for some mixed precipitation. So we have alert days in the forecast for tomorrow night for some light snow and light freezing rain that will develop late tomorrow afternoon and last into early Wednesday morning. There could be some minor snow and ice accumulations. That'll be followed by another round of some freezing rain and snow, maybe a little rain mixed in as well for late Wednesday into Wednesday night. And then that will change over to snow on Thursday with the possibility for some minor snow and ice accumulations. So because of that, slippery travel certainly can't be ruled out. And already there are winter weather advisories from southern Wisconsin, including Madison, Milwaukee, down into parts of Iowa and Illinois for the possibility for some freezing rain and snow from 6 p.m. tomorrow evening through 6 a.m. on Wednesday morning. Taking a look at some of the computer models, you can see the first round of precipitation bringing mainly some light snow to our north and to our west, but you can see after that just some light snow in the Madison area and the northern parts of our viewing area. This is going to be into Wednesday, but look what happens to the second part of the storm. A major winter storm with heavy snow possible through the northwestern portion of the state. We'll only see a little bit of snow from Madison northward, but our problem may be more in the way of freezing rain. And you can see the freezing rain threat already from the first round. This is through Wednesday morning. Just a few 1/100ths of an inch of freezing rain. But again, that could be enough to make roads slippery. And then the second round, that comes through from Wednesday night into Thursday morning before it changes over to snow here. So the possibility exists for freezing rain through much of the southeastern half of the state. Live view from the Queen Bee Radio Skycam in Platteville, starting to see the clouds thin out a little bit there. We should see the skies turn partly cloudy overnight. The WISC Skycam looking off toward the east, still looking mostly cloudy. And the Edgewater Skycam in downtown Madison, looking at the southern end of Lake Mendota. Well, nobody out on the ice. No surprise after the mild weather we had over the weekend. High today 45, but that was early this morning. Low temperature at 33, and that's where we are now. Mostly cloudy skies, winds out of the west-northwest at 10 miles per hour, dropping our wind chill to 25 degrees. Temperatures range from 40 40 in Chicago and 41 in Milwaukee to below 0 over parts of the eastern Dakotas. So that's a big temperature contrast. The bulk of the really cold air is going to stay to our north and to our west. But you can see over the last 24 hours, our temperatures, especially to the west, have dropped by about 20 degrees. Now on weather track, you can see the rain from earlier moving off to the east. Here's the next weather system for tomorrow night starting to develop. Not a lot of precipitation with it so far, but the main area of low pressure from the first storm has moved off to the east. A secondary area of low pressure developing over Wyoming will move eastward, and that's what will bring us the chances for some light freezing rain and light snow late tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow night. You can see the difference in temperatures. 60s down by the Ohio River, below 0 up in the Dakotas and northern Minnesota. So our forecast includes that winter weather advisory for tomorrow night into Wednesday. Look for a low tonight of 16 degrees. The skies become partly cloudy. For tomorrow, it'll be mostly cloudy and dry for much of the day with a high of 28, but we could see some light snow or light freezing rain developing late in the day. On future track, you can see the skies clearing out overnight. That allows temperatures to drop into the middle teens. Tomorrow, quiet during much of the day. Here comes light snow and freezing rain late in the day with highs in the upper 20s. That overspreads southern Wisconsin tomorrow night and then probably ends early on Wednesday morning, followed by another batch that will arrive late Wednesday afternoon and Wednesday night into Thursday and probably change over to snow at that time. As we look at our 7 to 10 day forecast, you can see we have those alert days in the forecast through Thursday. After the freezing rain and snow, look for temperatures to turn colder below 0 by early on Saturday morning, and then temperatures pretty close to normal next week, but we'll also have the possibility for some off and on snow chances. As we take a look at News 3 Now First Alert traffic, right now things on the Beltline are pretty good. This is the live view from the DOT camera at John Nolan Drive in the Beltline. Traffic moving pretty steadily in both directions. Looks like we were seeing some minor delays right around West Broadway. That looks like it's cleared up a little bit. A little bit of a slowdown northbound on US 12 heading out of Middleton. As far as travel times are concerned, 22 minutes eastbound on the Beltline from University Avenue to the interstate, 18 minutes back in the westbound direction. Heading out of Madison, 27 minutes down to Janesville, 17 minutes to Sauk City on US 12, and 18 minutes to Sun Prairie on US 151 and East Washington Avenue. That's your First Alert traffic.
All right, Gary, thank you.
And ahead on News 3 Now at 5, a day after winning the Super Bowl, we'll tell you how the Patriots are celebrating. That's after a short break. Welcome back. The New England Patriots are celebrating their historic Super Bowl victory.
Tom Brady and company beat the Los Angeles Rams in Atlanta last night to win their 6th Super Bowl, tying the Pittsburgh Steelers for the record. Mo Lalengi has the latest.
Patriots quarterback Tom Brady and wide receiver Julian Edelman celebrated New England's Super Bowl championship with a victory parade in Disney World Monday.
What a year!
Earlier in the day, Edelman posed with his Super Bowl MVP trophy at a news conference in Atlanta. He says being MVP hasn't sunk in yet.
You're thinking about winning games. You're thinking about going out and try to contribute. Maybe in the next couple weeks I'll be able to sit back and then think about that.
The Pats won their 6th Super Bowl, beating the Los Angeles Rams 13-3. It was the lowest scoring Super Bowl in history. The game's only touchdown broke a fourth-quarter stalemate, giving New England the edge.
For the touchdown!
Coach Bill Belichick has now won more Super Bowls than any other coach in NFL history.
We knew it was going to be a tough football game and a great football game, which it was.
At 66, Belichick is also the oldest head coach to win a Super Bowl. And his quarterback, Tom Brady, at 41, is the oldest QB to win.
Look at this! Yeah! How could this not motivate you? Is what it's all about.
And one bit of irony, even though it was the lowest scoring Super Bowl, New England won by 10 points, the biggest margin out of all their Super Bowl victories. Mo Lalengi, CBS News, Atlanta.
And the city of Boston will host a victory parade for the Patriots tomorrow beginning at 10 a.m.
And we'll have another check of your forecast in just a moment. Stay with us.
Right now.
Things are going to get wetter and cooler.
Yeah, turning colder right now. We're just about freezing in Madison, but notice the difference in temperatures. 40 in Milwaukee, already 19 in La Crosse. Winter weather advisory for tomorrow night into early Wednesday morning for some freezing rain and snow. Alert days through Thursday, cold for the end of the week, and then some snow chances next week.
All right, Gary, thanks. We're back in 30 minutes. The CBS Evening News is next.